Local cities are voicing concern about the rising price of health care on city budgets. Now they're putting their support behind a resolution calling for Medicare for all.
There's something that's just got to change. It is so focused on profit and so focused on the person providing it, making money. It just, something has to change. I mean, we can't keep living like this and having people worried about not going to the doctor.
It's not okay for regular folks and individuals to have to forego health care for themselves because they can't afford it. And I know my council colleagues up here have heard many times these stories from residents.
Councilmember Susan Pa, who's co-sponsored the resolution, said the rising cost of health insurance has contributed to the city's property tax levy increase. This month, the Brooklyn Park City Council voted to join Brooklyn Center, Osseo, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, and others in supporting the Minnesota Health Plan and the federal Medicare for All Act. We decided to sit down and learn more about the movement for healthcare for all and the Osseo retiree who volunteers to promote it. We spoke with Dave Garibaldi in today's Newsmakers.
Healthcare for All Minnesota is a nonprofit organization, and we advocate for a single-payer health plan that will be affordable for all. We want everybody in the state of Minnesota to be covered by healthcare, quality health care at an affordable rate, and we do this through advocating and educating and also through community outreach.
You guys have been going around to different cities, having them support a resolution for this. Why involve local governments?
Local governments are on the front lines of people that are dealing with affordability issues, plus they have taxpayers that want to see their taxpayer dollars used efficiently, and right now we are wasting far too much money on the cost of premiums that keep going up and with no control over the prices that we're paying for health care. So local governments are strapped. Local businesses are having trouble making ends meet also for the same reason.
Well, I know when you went to speak to the Osseo City Council and Brooklyn Park City Council, they've received this message pretty favorably.
Yes, most mayors and council members have experienced the problems with health care and actually testified in many cases to their own issues. And they see this as a way to be fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars and really want to get involved with having the national and state leaders really seriously look at a single payer plan like the Minnesota Health Plan at the state level or Medicare for All on the national level and see whether that would be a good fit and really save us the money that most of the proponents like me say it will.
And speaking of that, you were a retiree and you just got involved in this subject.
Yes, I did. A few years ago, I went to a presentation by Healthcare for All Minnesota, which we do occasionally, and also we have virtual presentations. I hope people will check our website and get looped in. It convinced me that there was a need for change and to join all the other countries, developed countries in the world, especially the wealthy ones, that have figured this out and have national plans.
All right, so if folks want to learn a little bit more, what should they do?
They should go to our website, and that's hc-ma.org.
All right, Dave Garibaldi, thank you very much for being here today to talk about this.
Thanks for having me.
Some restaurant favorites of the northwest suburbs will be writing a new chapter. Some will be closing, some will be remodeling, and some will get new ownership. Lemongrass Thai Cuisine in Brooklyn Park announced on Facebook that it will be closing at the end of March, opting not to renew its lease at the Edinburgh Center Drive location. The restaurant has been around for 18 years and attained a devoted following. Owner Ann Ahmed called it a difficult decision to eventually close, but she and her team plan to embark on a new chapter with plans for a new and entirely different restaurant in Minneapolis. Ahmed also owns the popular Lat 14 Asian eatery in Golden Valley. Meanwhile, fans of a favorite donut shop in Golden Valley will have to endure a longer than usual winter. That's because Valley Pastries will be closing, but don't worry, the closure will only be temporary. However, the closure will last 2 to 3 months as the store undergoes an extensive renovation and expansion. The new Valley Pastries will be double the current size. The current vision will be open through December 23rd. And a slice of Italy in Robbinsdale, Nonna Rosa's restaurant, now has a new owner.
I have pretty much I've done restaurants my entire life, so I feel like I have a good eye for things, as well as listening to both the staff, the chefs, and the community.
Calling Nonna Rosa's a neighborhood gem, owner Jason Lyons says the concept would remain the same. As far as possible changes, Lyons says stay tuned, but he did bring up possible menu innovations occurring in the spring. The art show that's currently on exhibit at the Maple Grove Art Gallery offers tiny art, but it's big on variety.
Tiny art, yes, and there's definitely a big variety of artists and styles and art to look at, yes. We're open, the show opens until January 13th. We run on volunteers, so please check our website for available times.
There's everything from collages to watercolor paintings to folk art, all featured in art that's limited to an 8-inch square. As Terry said, the exhibit is up until January 13th, so you are welcome to stop by when they are open. We'll leave you now with more of the show.
We start our 2022 offense with a pair of talented quarterbacks. Maple Grove's number 9, Jacob Kilzer, is a dual-threat QB who led his team to the Prep Bowl. Senior Kilzer both rushed and passed for over 1,200 yards this season, with 12 passing touchdowns and 18 rushing TDs. He was named first-team All-Metro by the Star-Tribune. Like Kilzer, Armstrong's number 11, Jamin Malone, has started since his sophomore year.
40-yard perfect strike, Jamin Malone.
Malone threw for 1,500 yards and 19 touchdowns this season. He can also run. Malone totaled 600-plus yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Our talented backfield also includes Cooper running back Denari Connors. The senior ran for 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns.
And he is going to go.
And led the Hawks in all rushing categories. Connors was named All-District and the team's most valuable player. Whitesetta's number 22, Dion Lovelace, led the Trojans in rushing, totaling 1,100-plus yards and 11 touchdowns this year. He was among Class 6A's top rushers and was an all-district selection for the Trojans. Armstrong's number 22, Reggie Carter, ran for 1,050 yards and had a nose for the end zone.
In for the touchdown.
The senior's a tough downhill runner with speed and rushed for 16 touchdowns this season for the 8-3 Falcons.
Carter turns on the Jets and he'll go.
Maple Grove running back number 23, Jordan Alagbaju, can both run and catch the ball out of the backfield.
Open, and he goes for a touchdown.
Senior back rushed for nearly 900 yards in the Crimson's first 12 games with 11 touchdowns. He also caught 13 passes, including 1 for a score. Armstrong's number 6, Marquand Tucker, was a big play guy for the Falcons this fall. The senior wide receiver averaged 17 yards a catch on 48 receptions, 13 of those going for touchdowns.
Look at him go. He got 1 block and he is gone.
Tucker was named All-District and the Falcons' team most valuable player. Park Center's number 13, Dominic Brown, was small in stature, but his numbers were large. The wide receiver and athlete totaled over 1,100 all-purpose yards, rushing, receiving, passing, and return categories. The senior was named the Twin City Green District MVP.
They're not going to catch him. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Dominic Brown.
Our offensive line includes Osseo's big tackle, number 77, Jerome Williams. The 6'5", 305-pound University of Minnesota recruit was a 3-year starter for the Orioles, the 2-time Maroon North District Offensive Lineman of the Year. Williams is also a second-team All-Metro pick. Champlin Park's number 76, Magnus Wright, is a 6'3", 290-pound tackle who was named second-team All-Metro. Wright led the Rebels in pancake blocks. He was named All-District, the Rebels team MVP, and will play in the high school All-Star game next week. Park Center's number 76, Max Lemke, was a 3-year starter for the Pirates. The 6'2", 280-pound center helped open holes for an offense that rushed for 130 yards per game. He was named All-District and is the Twin City Green Offensive Lineman of the Year. Maple Grove's number 66, Hunter Gerber, was the leader for an unsung Maple Grove offensive line. Although he spent much of the season at center, he was able to move along the line as needed. He was named second team All-Metro. Whiteside Junior number 72, Manny Wilson, is another multiple-year starter on our offensive line. Coach Lambert Brown called Wilson the leader of the Trojans line. He's a great technician with a nasty finish. If this team can't score touchdowns, we can turn to Maple Grove kicker Connor Fortier for points.
It is right down the middle.
The senior first-team All-Metro specialist is 8 for 10 on field goals through 12 games, including 2 40-plus yarders against Forest Lake in the playoffs. Fortier is also 50 for 52 on extra points. There are a lot of really good offensive players in the area this year. Here are the honorable mention selections on offense for 2022. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.